Hello and welcome to my first video review. This is going to be of Sango Fighter for the PC. Came out in '93. It's a fighting game made in China. Now one of the first things you'll notice is that it actually has a storyline, unlike many fighting games. Now I've never actually played through the entire storyline, but from what I've played, it's actually not bad. It's based on Romance of the Three Kingdoms, so if you've ever read that novel, then you know what it's about. There are three modes of play: story, battle, and two-player versus. Two-player versus is exactly what you'd expect from a fighting game. It's you against a buddy on the same computer. Now, story mode, which I'll show you first, is the progression through several varied missions, in which you fight various lackeys and then the bosses, so to speak. These bosses you can play as in battle mode and in two-player versus. But in story mode, you're only allowed to play as one of 5 characters. Now, the controls in this game are very solid. It feels like a fighting game should, albeit the game itself does not actually fight like, say, Street Fighter or King of Fighters. It's more of a slow, methodical, yet very fun fight. But as expected from a fighting game, each character has their own special moves and abilities. Like Guan Yu has his spear attacks, and Zhang Fei has various punching and kicking moves, but they all kind of feel the same apart from looks, because each one has, the basic projectile, the basic get off me attack, and the basic close the distance melee attack. Now while you're watching me get my ass kicked by Dian Wei here, I'll tell you about the music, which you can't hear at the moment, because Hypercam is being stupid, but anyway. It's a very good soundtrack. It feels kind of epic in a way, but the menu song I just absolutely hated. It just sounds boring. But the battle songs actually sound pretty intense when you play them. In addition, the sound effects are a little bit wimpy, but that's expected from a '93 PC game that was made for DOS. I mean, it's not exactly the most elegant of games. It's meant to be fun, and that's exactly what it is. It's a fun fighter. Now you've just seen Dian Wei run away, and then this little lackey come out to fight me again. Now, in story mode this happens, but in battle mode, which I'll show you later, you never actually have to fight the lackeys. It's always just the boss characters. Now these lackeys are absolutely pathetic, but the bosses can be really tough. In case you haven't guessed, Guan Yu is one of my worst characters to play as. I normally play as Chow Yun, but I was feeling rebellious today. Anyway, after I lose to Dian Wei, I'm going to show you battle mode. Now, as you can see, and as I said earlier, you can play as any of the boss characters from the game. Now, I thought it would have been a little fun to play as the little lackey just to get my ass kicked by everybody else, but anyway. I normally play as Chow Yun or Huang Zhong here. I have played as every single character, but I like them the best. So, it's basically you progress through levels fighting the boss characters, and at the end of the battle, if you win, you get points. Now, the points are really, there's no point to them apart from getting in the rankings, which you'll see later on in the video. But at the moment, just watch my glorious battle against Huang Zhong. Now, I noticed in one of my other videos of Sango Fighter, my Bloody Tears or Rise, which are music videos basically, that someone pointed out that the game's translation is not correct, and that's true. They spelled the Chinese names wrong, which to me really doesn't matter too much. I mean, it's from '93, you don't expect the translators to be the best. But it's really not a bad translation, it just seems a little awkward sometimes. Of course, if you want the original Chinese, then you should play Sango Fighter 2, which is actually a better game, but I won't review it. But it's actually in Chinese. They've never translated it to English because they never released it outside of China, I don't think. But it's a much better fighter, but it's really impossible for me to understand because I don't speak Chinese. Another little thing I should point out about Sango Fighter is that it's actually very hard. As you noticed, I got my ass handed to me by Dian Wei in the story mode, the first level. And this is on normal difficulty. Now, I'm good with Chao Yun and Zhang Fei, but Guan Yu is one of my worst characters, as you've seen. So, if I were playing as them, I probably could have beaten Dian Wei pretty easily. But it's a very challenging game, and that's mainly why I haven't gone through the story mode, is because I just haven't felt like it. I've been playing more battle mode, which is a lot more fun in my opinion. And I guess you saw my lovely ranking at the top with Zhang Fei of over 240,000. But that was me beating the entire battle mode. Anyway, it's a very fun game. I recommend it to any fighting fan. And it was swept under the table by Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, stuff like that. Which is a shame because it's such a good game. But if you can find a copy of it, play it, please. It's great.